Hey folks, Craig Danger, vinyl record player. Hey, we are ranking. This is a ranking video today. Ranking the LPs of Willie Hutch. Basically rank 11 studio albums recorded by Willie Hutch between the era of 1969 and 1985. So there'll be some picks, and I'm going to rank all 11 of these albums, minus, of course, two sort of glaring absentees, and that would be, of course, the Mack soundtrack, and of course, also Foxy Brown, the Foxy Brown, Willie Hutch, the Foxy Brown soundtrack from 1974. Now, I don't have the Mack on physical copy. Of course, I've heard it many a time. I think this is a great soundtrack, but I'm ranking, I'm going to go ahead and rank just LPs because I feel like soundtracks are a very different bag to LPs. And to be frank, when it comes to Willie Hutch, most people know the soundtracks, at least the Mack, and a lot of people who have not heard his other albums are like, oh, the Mack, man, you gotta hear the Mack, bro. The Mack is, you gotta hear the rest of the albums, is my point. So let's go. We'll start with number 11 in the ranking. I purchased this one specially. First off, maybe a little bit of a history of Willie Hutch. Willie Hutch, of course, born December 6th, 1944, died September 19th, 2006 at the age of 60. R.I.P. Willie. Legend. Should have been a legend. Basically, started out in music really early. His name is Willie Hutchison. Changed his name to Willie Hutch. Recorded early for the Soul City label in Los Angeles. Then started actually writing, producing, arranging for the Fifth Dimension. He actually, California My Way was a song he would later record. And of course, kind of got a little bit of success doing that. Ended up recording with RCA, then with Motown. And, you know, that's his basic story. But as we go through the LPs, I'll obviously be talking additional details. Let's go ahead, start ranking these 11 albums. We'll start out with the one that I purchased specifically for this. Making a Game Out of Love from 1985. That's right, kids. You heard that correct. 1985. Not my favorite era for soul. There's a lot of electronic and freak funk going on this particular LP. It could only come in last. This again is not really my taste. Has Willie lost it by this point? No. I just think the technology sounds terrible. The production kind of sounds terrible. This is, of course, on the Motown label. This kind of brought him back in '85 to be on the Motown label. This one is the only LP that I will be ranking today that I will say, I don't recommend this. I can't. Like I say, there are some tunes on it, but I think the music is very '85. And if you're a big, woo, I love my soul music from 1985, you might like this, but that, of course, is not me. So this one is for curious and completist collectors only. Willie Hutch, Making a Game Out of Love from 1985 on the Motown label. We'll cut into some LPs that I do recommend, of course. I'll cut into I believe this is 79, 78 on the Whitfield Records label. In tune would be I believe it's the second of two LPs that Willie would record on the Norman Whitfield label, of course, Whitfield Records. This is a good record. Again, the technology is starting to creep in. We're hearing a lot more synths and some funky business. But again, this is actually not a terrible record. I think it's actually very good. If you can pick this one up for 10 or below, it's a fun record. It's very. There are definitely some disco moments. I mean, it's 79, 80, and Willie is. I'm not gonna say that he's at his peak here, but again, it's a pretty good album and definitely worthy if you do see it. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna talk about. I'll just put a picture right here because I unfortunately do not have it on hard copy, obviously. But let's talk about '78's Midnight Dancer. Also Willie Hutch, also on the Whitfield label. This is a little bit better than In Tune. It's actually a really fun album, very disco, lots of disco-y tracks, not too heavy on the ballads, but again, it's Willie Hutch. It's hard to go completely wrong. And again, the title track is really good. There's a couple of other jams on it that are, quite excellent. So that, of course, coming in at number 9, Midnight Dancer, Willie Hutch. All right, so then we kick it to number 8. Number 8 from 76. Talking about Willie Hutch, Color Her Sunshine. Now, this is it's a good LP, but not a great one. This one, unfortunately, a lot of ballads on this one. I mean, on side 2, you got Shake It, not a ballad, good one. But I mean, the song titles kind of say it all here. We got Come On Girl, Let's Get It On, which, by the way, is an excellent track. I Feel Like We Can Make It, Color Her Sunshine, I Like Everything About You. This is clearly Willie's mid-70s love album. And while it's a sexy album, I am not a fierce fan of his ballads. So that's why this one kind of within that, in my opinion, kind of peak period of 73 to 77, this one comes in last. Because again, good album, and if you see it, I can only recommend it. But I would say if this is your only album from Willie Hutch, then please keep expanding. Keep expanding. This has a lot of ballads on it and isn't really, I would say, representative of what Willie can do. But again, Color of Sunshine from 76, fun little album. Again, this is more a lover's album. So, might want to play it when you're on a hot date. But otherwise, yeah, this is a pretty good record. Pretty good record. But now we're getting into the essentials here. The essentials, in my opinion. Let's talk about 77's Having a House Party, Willie Hutch. This one is really good, actually. Obviously, look at that back cover. Very fun. They're clearly having a house party. So yeah, you got, starts out with Willie's Boogie. Please, that's going to be good. We're going to have a house party. What you're going to do after the party, more of a ballad. But how about I Can Give You Love? Ooh, that's also a really good song. And then, because there's not enough party on this LP, we'll start off the second side with, Hey, we're going to party tonight. It's a very party album, and it actually is really fun. Again, not his absolute best work, but it's a fun album. If you catch this album in stores, great cover, very, very 77. I love the crowd, his guests at his party. I'm like, that's a jam. It's a serious jam, people. So anyway, having a house party rather, from 77. Willie Hutch. I think this one will be coming in at about 7. Let's hope that it's 7. Anyway, Willie Hutch, let's see what we got. And let's talk number 6. Could only be also from 77. Concert and Blues, Willie Hutch. This is an odd one, certainly. And, I've seen this LP in a lot. I think I bought a second copy in the blues section for like $2.99. Which, by the way, if you see this LP for $2.99, please buy this album. Again, on the Motown label, as pretty much all except for those late 70s LPs. This one is kind of an odd duck because it does have Party Down on it, which of course was also on 75's Ode to My Lady. But man, the jams on this one are real, just some beautiful production. Stormy Weather, I'm a big fan of. Stormy Monday, because we want storms. Shake, Rattle, and Roll. That's right, I'm talking about that. You've never heard a cover of Shake, Rattle, and Roll like this one. It's funky, it's riffy, I can't even explain it. Great album. So this one's a fun album. If you can get this one for under $15, you're actually getting a steal. But like I said, I have seen this one very cheap. It does get confused as if it is a blues album. It's not a blues album. It's classic Willie Hutch. Very funky soul, not too heavy on the ballads. Good one. Willie Hutch, Concert and Blues. From what? From 1977. That's number 6. Number 5. We're coming in the top 5 here. Willie Hutch, some classics. These are all must-haves if you like Willie Hutch. Mark of the Beast. Willie Hutch from 74. This is a really surprising record. It took me a long time to get into this one, but funky, but like, get ready for the get down. You start the record like that. I mean, you're cooking with napalm, players. With napalm. Get ready for the get down, and then what do we got? Mark of the Beast. Mark of the Beast is really good. It's intense. There is a semi-religious component to this album, but it's not over the top or anything. And then of course, big banger on this album, of course, is Try It, You'll Like It. I really like this album. This album is actually one of my favorites by him now. I've been as I listen to all of these 11 albums again, this one proved to be actually a little surprising. A little ballady on that second side, but still a very strong album. I would even call this peak period is about 74. Mark of the Beast. If you do see this one, worth a pickup. Very, very good album by Willie Hutch. So, wow, we're coming into the top four here. Top four. What are we talking about? Oh, we are talking about his second and final LP produced by John Flores on the RCA label, Season for Love. Story behind this record, of course, basically, John Flores, the producer, they'd had a terrible time with his first LP, Soul Portrait. RCA would not put down any promo money to get this get this sold, basically, get it out to radio stations. So they thought, well, what if we made a pop record? Something that like a Sam Cooke, sort of a ballady record. And what did they do? They made Season for Love by Willie Hutch. Fantastic record. Not all original material. This one probably has the most non-original material of pretty much all of his albums. But of course, so many good songs. The title track, When a Boy Falls in Love, The Magic of Love, Trying to Understand a Woman. Woo! Woo! Lazy Boo out for that jam, but out for basically this effectively, and it says actually on the record that this is songs to hear when you talk of love. Or I just think it's the sound of falling in love, to be honest. Fantastic record. Number 4, Season for Love from 1970 on the RCA label. Of course, this is a later repress. You can get an original copy of this guy. Woo! Because this sold a total of, a couple thousand copies. RCA was terrible. So after this LP, Willie would move on to Motown. 1975, this is the number 3 LP, in my opinion. Ranking the LPs of Willie Hutch, gotta be Ode to My Lady from 75. On the Motown label. Great album. You can see he's kind of rocking on the back. Oh, but there's his lady. There's his lady too, that he has created an ode for. Yeah, the hits keep on coming on this one. You got Party Down, which again was also in Concert and Blues. Confusing to me, although to be fair, Party Down was one of his biggest hits. And unfortunately, it was a good hit R&B, but he never really had any hits on the pop chart. Also on this is Love Power. Love Power went to number 41. That I think was his biggest pop hit. But he had plenty of top 10 hits on the soul charts. And of course, lots of great ones on this one. But also, hey, The Way We Were. The version of The Way We Were is, I think it's just the best. The best version that I've heard. Willie kills it all over this. But The Way We Were is it's a stunner. Take that, Barbra Streisand. Take that. Willie Hutch owning that jam on this. Ode to My Lady, 75. We're into the top 2 right now. Ranking the top 2. Oh, and of course I had to go for Fully Exposed at number 2. His debut on the Motown imprint. This, of course, is a promo copy. But man, we got some big jams on this one. I Want to Be Where You Are, it starts out with. Cover of course, a Michael Jackson. I believe it was Michael Jackson solo, although it may have been the Jacksons, actually, to be honest. I think it's probably the Jacksons. Oh, but his version, again, he comes out and he owns the song. What else we got on this one that is good? I mean, Can't Get Ready for Losing. California My Way, originally recorded, obviously, by the Fifth Dimension. I think later recorded by The Main Ingredient. He does a great version of that. And then, of course, the bombs on this one, the absolute nuclear jams on this one. We, of course, are talking about Tell Me Why Has Our Love Gone Cold, and, of course, Sunshine Lady. Woo! This record is a must-buy. It's so good. This is his 70s. Obviously, I think this is his 70s peak in 73. But again, Ode to My Lady is very close. That was the one just before this. Also a great record. But this one, wow, phenomenal. If you find it, please pick it up. This is a win. And we will go to number one. Is it on the shirt? It's on the shirt. Yes, it is. Oh, what do we got? Oh, right here. Willie Hutch, Soul Portrait, produced by John Flores, 1969, his debut cooker. I have said this before many times. I've said this on the Rachel's Go show, much to the guffaws of a gentleman named The Waxed. But you know what? Top 3 soul album of the 1960s. Simple fact. I'm going to go ahead and call that. Almost every single song on this is a banger. Not a lot of ballads, just pure, funky, driven soul. Really, really good album. This is a must-have. This is obviously not an original copy. The original copies, again, he was on RCA. RCA did a terrible job promoting, I think, again, one of the top 3 soul albums of the 1960s. So yeah, that was it. Ranking it at number 1. We're talking about, of course, Willie Hutch, Soul Portrait. This one is an absolute must-have. I would even call this probably an entry point, maybe Fully Exposed too, but this one is a good one. And like I say, it was repressed about 6 or 7 years ago. There are a lot of copies out there. So let's just go through them one more time. We'll go backwards. At number 1, Soul Portrait, Willie Hutch. Number 2, from 73, Fully Exposed. Also, obviously, we're ranking Willie Hutch. Number 3, Ode to My Lady. Number 4, Season for Love, of course, his last LP on RCA. Mark of the Beast, number 5. Number 6, Concert in Blues from 77. Also from 77, number 8, Willie Hutch, Having a House Party. Number 9, Color Her Sunshine. Number 10, I believe, is Midnight Dancer. Number 11, In Tune. Or actually, rather, sorry. This would be number 10. Number 9, Midnight Dancer. This, of course, is, wow. It's the last. We'll call it the last. Again, he gave it a go. Not a great album. But again, yeah. That is my ranking the albums of Willie Hutch. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I haven't had all of his stuff, and obviously, as I mentioned, I don't even have Midnight Dancer. I am still looking for Midnight Dancer, and I will be buying it. Again, I don't expect regrets like this one. This one is not that good. But yeah, I've been wanting to do this for a while, so like, subscribe. Again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching to the end. Not a lot of people know about Willie Hutch, but again, I've kind of made it my mission that some people learn about this just legend in the soul and R&B game, going all the way up really to 1980. So yeah. So thanks, friends, for tuning in. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to see you on the next one.